There was a moment when, we were walking down the aisle. And she grabbed my hand like she was a little girl again. And it was like, Daddy, you're here with me. And I'm like, that was a magical, magical moment. And thank you so much, Holly, for that.
Today we stand against a truly palatial backdrop to celebrate the richness of your love and to set you off on your journey as husband and wife.
Holly, we're so fortunate you and Craig found each other. You're wonderful together, and it makes us, myself and Paul, very proud to have you as our daughter-in-law. Our one desire we have in life is for all the boys to find and meet someone who loves them as much as we do. Craig, you found that love and you should treasure it.
This certainly is my moment, and I hope that it is all your moments too. I certainly know it's Holly and Craig's moment, and I can probably speak for Karen and Paul too, and know that we're all so happy to be here celebrating on this fantastic, wonderful, sunny day in such a fantastic venue. From the day she was born, Holly Ann Ladd has been the light in my life. She was my baby bird from the minute she was born, with the biggest brown eyes you could ever imagine. Now, she is such a beautiful, confident, wonderful woman. My baby is all grown up. She's a woman, a wife, and now a mother. It has been one of the greatest privileges of my life to watch her grow. Long live the Barrows!
So I met Craig during our first week in Year 7 at Arnoldale School. He was sporting a ill-fitting blazer and a questionable haircut. It's nice to know not much has changed since. So Craig walks into our business studies GCSE class, and the only available seat for him to sit in was next to me. We bonded very quickly over a shared lack of interest in the difference between limited and public companies. And it was soon apparent that Craig would not follow in his father's footsteps as the boss man of Ronseal. We bonded even quicker over our new hobby of drinking low-strength lagers our parents left for us in the fridge when they went out at weekends. And the best friend-shaped hole in my life was soonly filled. It has been such a pleasure spending the last 22 years with Craig and watching the transition from lanky teenager to devout emo to pretentious artist to frustrated dog owner and now dedicated father and husband. I want to thank Craig for sitting next to me. Thanks for sitting next to me all those years ago. It's had a huge impact on my life and has often pulled me out of my comfort zone and made me challenge myself.
10 years ago to the day, probably about this exact time, we met outside an East London pub. We'd never met before, but it seemed like we'd known each other a lifetime. Never have I met someone and been so infatuated by them. Not just their appearance, but their personality, their attitude, their style, such a love for life. So easygoing and so much fun. We just loved hanging out with each other. And that truly was the foundation of our relationship. We were friends. Eventually, it became clear that this was becoming more than just friendship. However, one evening, Holly dropped some serious news on me. She was moving to Berlin. I was gutted. This person who I'd been pursuing for about a year, who had brought me so much happiness, fun and joy, was leaving to a different country. What might have seemed like a rather far-fetched idea for me for my good friend Matilda, it was obvious. Move to Berlin. You've got to chase her, she said. The next morning, I got a phone call from my best mate, Jack. I'm going to come and see you.
On a summer's day in July 2014, I rang Craig out of the blue to say I was coming to visit him in London. I just split up with my girlfriend and needed a shoulder to cry on.
And I asked him, so what's up? Why the spontaneous trip? That's when he told me him and his long-term girlfriend had split up, that he needed somewhere new to live, and he wanted to change.
Unknown to me, Craig was also suffering as the girl he was seeing had moved to Berlin.
It was obvious. It was perfect. I was moving to Berlin. Not because of Holly, because Jack needed a new start. I wouldn't just be tagging along to Holly's plans, and if things didn't work out between us, I had someone there for me.
8 pints later, we had both convinced each other that maybe we should both move to Berlin. And we spent the rest of the night shouting, "I'll do it if you do it!"
The last people I needed to tell were my parents. My mum was down in London the following week and we met for lunch. At lunch I tell her all about Holly and my plans to move to Berlin and chase her. With a huge smile on her face, she looked at me and said, "Go for it, Craig."
When I next got paid, I bought my one-way ticket and then sent Craig a screenshot of my ticket, and the planning soon began. Soon after landing in Berlin, I met Holly for the first time, and I could quickly see why Craig was chasing her halfway across the continent. She was one of the few people that I had met that Craig had introduced me to that did not roll their eyes when I talked about Nottingham. So I knew she must be alright. It has been such a pleasure being part of your lives whilst your relationship has grown, and it has been such a joy seeing you develop into a caring, compassionate, exciting, immaculately dressed Berlin power couple. And it's so nice to see you becoming parents.rt.
What initially was planned as a year-long escape quite quickly turned into something more. Berlin was the setting for the establishment of our relationship. We could be who we wanted to be and chase our dreams. Life had an abundance of friends, creative ideas, and good times.
Holly sent me a poem that meant so much to me at a certain time. And it's called A Daughter's Poem. And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children," he said. "Your children are not your children. They are your sons and daughters of life longing for itself. They come through you, but are not from you. You may give them their love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls. For their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but not seek them to be like you. For life goes not backwards, not tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of infinite, and he bends with you his might, that his arrow may go swift and far. Let your bending of the archer's hand be for the gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, he also loves the bow that is stable."
Holly Ann, when we first met, I never would have believed this would be how our stories would turn out.
My love, it was under the most adverse circumstances that we found each other. I know that your logical mind would probably say that it was chance, but I think we can say safely now that it was fate. Whatever it was, it brought us here today, 10 years to the day since we met.
I've spent the last 10 years watching in complete awe of everything you do, always with such elegance and grace. I've seen you be the most incredible friend, considerate, understanding, dependable, loyal.
surrounded by our friends, our family, and our daughter, and I couldn't be happier. It's almost impossible to sum up the last 10 years we've spent together in a few words, so I've decided to use some of what we've learned from each other and built together to make my promises and thanks to you.
I've seen you be the most incredible mother, nurturing, patient, selfless, unconditionally loving, and I'm so proud to be the father of your daughter. And I've seen you be the most incredible partner, passionate, honest, understanding, caring. You're my partner not only in life, but also in career. You're my creative partner, my water bouncer. You help me make sense of all the chaos and loose threads in my head and focus them into creating something meaningful.
You are my family, and I'm so proud of the life we've built, the things we've instilled, and the memories we've made.
Life together with you is just so much fun. We take chances, we want to see and do everything. We live life. Even when things are hard, we find a way to enjoy it. The next chapter in our life starts today. I can't promise you it will always be easy. I can't promise you things will never go wrong. I cannot promise you that I will be on time. But I do promise you this. I promise you a life full of excitement and a life full of adventure.
I promise to give you space to be yourself. I promise to help your greatest qualities shine through. I promise to never go to sleep with an issue unresolved. I promise to make every moment as fun as it can be. I promise to keep a sense of adventure. I promise to push us to do new things. We're safe.
I promise you a life full of support and a life full of collaboration. I promise you a life full of working hard for what we want to achieve and a life full of celebrating and enjoying what we've worked so hard for.
I promise to be open and honest with my feelings. I promise to always kiss you goodnight. I promise to always be on your team. I promise to support you in following your dreams. And I promise to be there when it feels impossible.
I promise you a life full of encouragement to follow your dreams and a life full of pushing you when you want to give up.
Thank you for making me feel safe. Thank you for making me feel myself.
I promise you a life full of singing and dancing and a life full of art and beauty. I promise you a life full of always kissing you goodnight before bed.
Thank you for making me feel loved.
I promise you all of these things, but mostly, I promise you a life full of fun, a life full of seeing the best in everything, and a life full of love.
Thank you for making me feel inspired. And thank you for being you. I love you.
Craig, do you pledge to accept Holly for who she is, with all of her strengths and her flaws, her triumphs and her challenges? Holly, do you pledge to accept Craig for who he is, with all of his strengths and his flaws, his triumphs and his challenges? Will you love and cherish her when she shines brighter than any star, when he gleams brighter than any moon, and stand by his side when skies turn grey? Will you embrace her as your equal? Will you embrace him as your equal, your confidant, and your life partner, committing to build a future together filled with joy, love, and understanding? And do you solemnly vow to take Holly as your wedded wife? And do you solemnly vow to take Craig as your wedded husband, to honour and support him in sickness and in health, to honour and support her in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, as long as you both shall live?
I do.
I do.
Look at these hands, for they are your closest friends. They are strong and full of love. As you join hands today, you make the promise to love each other today, tomorrow, and forever. Craig, please place the ring on Holly's finger.
With this ring,
I, Craig Barrow,
I, Holly Ann Ladd,
take you, Holly Ann Ladd,
take you, Craig Barrow,
to be
no other than yourself,
to be exactly who you are, loving what I know of you,
and trusting what I do not yet know. I will respect your integrity and have faith in your abiding love for me through all of our years and in all that life may bring.
By the power vested in me by the Internet and the state of California, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Make it the bride.
Hope we've all dried our eyes from that ceremony. And what a place, a palace. We already know that this will be a day we'll never forget. For Holly and Craig, go!
I'm finally getting my housewives moment. I'm mic'd. Hello, everybody. Holly and Craig, look at all these people. Never once have I witnessed either of you giving up when things got tough or backing down when faced with fear. The integrity, endurance, resilience, and compassion, I know it sounds like a list of words, but I really mean each and every one of them, that you both exhibit is truly remarkable. Otilia is so lucky. We are all so lucky. There are so many people here, it's crazy. Love is the feeling we have for those we care deeply about and hold in high regard. It can be light as the hug we give a friend, or heavy as the sacrifices we make for our children. It can be romantic, platonic, familial, fleeting, everlasting, conditional, unconditional, stoked by sex, amplified by kindness, deepened by time, nourished by humor, and loaded with promises and commitments that we may or may not want to keep. The best thing you can possibly do with your love is to tackle the motherfucking shit out of it.
Craig, I am so proud the way you love Holly. And that's all I wanted.
But it wasn't really until our trip to New Zealand that things really started to become clear for me. Although we were roughing it on the open road, you would still always make the bed cozy at night and hang fairy lights from our van during dinner, in your classic attention to detail way, something that I love about you so much. There is this moment which I will never forget, a memory which I hold so dear to me. The evening before we were flying home, we were camping on the beach. We were wandering through the sand dunes, jumping across small estuaries, when we were surrounded by a swarm of seagulls. We were laughing but also quite scared as we tried to escape. We both fell waist high into the water and we were soaked.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the bride and the groom, Holly and Craig, Barrow!
I fell so much in love with you during that trip. I saw your highest and your lowest, but always being yourself. And I remember thinking, maybe this could be my favorite girl. Back in Berlin, our lives continued, and we grew stronger together, stronger as individuals, stronger in our careers. Our lives continued, more adventures were had, and before we knew it, I was down on one knee in the midst of a Berlin snowstorm with a ring in my hand. Not long after this, just when I thought I couldn't love you anymore, along came Matilda. And she opened up a whole new level of how much love I can have for you. Our beautiful daughter, who brings endless joy, excitement, chaos and laughter into our lives. And I love being her parent with you. To my beautiful wife, never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be marrying my best friend in a huge pink palace in the Algarve. You bring so much into my life. So much fun, so much love, so much excitement. my wife, to our marriage, and to life.
Tough luck, babe. Struck out when you had about 30 chances. One bad day, now you don't know how to pay for the damage. I don't wanna climb. If I'm gonna fall back, it's a waste of time. Keep winning. How the hell do you make it look so easy? I'm spinning, and I can't seem to get back on my feet. Yeah, I might give up, 'cause I'm falling down now. Won't be good enough. I miss it. Those days when nothing ever really mattered. So willing to give it all deep into you might just shatter now. You're scared of time. Gotta beat the clock now. It's all up to pride. Tough luck, babe. Struck out when you had about 30 chances. One bad day, now you don't know how to pay for the damage. I don't wanna cry. If I'm gonna fall back, it's a waste of time. And I don't know where to go from here. Is it worth the fear? All alone, filling up with tears, and I'm hardly here. I am still burning slow. Do I stick it out now? Is it time to go? Keep winning. How the hell do you make it look so easy? I'm spinning, and I can't seem to get back on my feet. Yeah, I might give up, 'cause I'm falling down now. Won't be good enough. I miss it. Those days when nothing ever really mattered. So willing to give it all deep into you might just shatter now. You're scared of time. Gotta beat the clock now. It's all up to pride. Tough luck, babe. Struck out when you had about 30 chances. One bad day, now you don't know how to pay for the damage. I don't wanna cry. If I'm gonna fall back, it's a waste of time.
A scoop to Holly and Craig.
That's my JD, everyone. Come on, let's do it again.